Here's one of our favorite clips from Neighborly Discourse with Billy and Steve.
I want to say the Hunter Biden situation, for those who don't know, there was a laptop that really implicates him and his father in terms of dealings that happened in Ukraine and Russia and China.
I was almost going to stop you and say, Steve, listen, people know about it, but clearly they don't.
They don't.
Clearly something is happening where people, for whatever ridiculous news source they watch, this guy only watches the experts, they're not reporting it, so
but hold on,
it's frustrating,
but consider this for a second, because what I'm about to say. So, again, guys, remember how potent and powerful this particular laptop is and what kind of information was on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It came out a month before the 2020 election. Okay.
And a lot of people said had they known about it, they wouldn't have voted for Biden.
But that's what I'm going to say. So it comes out, the periodical that released the what's the word? What do you say when the hot story you know what I'm trying to say. But the newspaper who released it was the New York Post.
Yeah.
Okay. They released it. They put it on Twitter and said, check out this story. Immediately,
gone.
Twitter banned them. They said, you either could take down the story or we're going to take you off. And it's like, we're not going to take down the story. So they got wiped off. Facebook, same thing. They took them off. And they basically told everybody and anybody, if you regurgitate this, if you forward this to anybody, we're going to ban you until such time.
Yeah. Not delete the tweet. Erase your account.
Take you
the
out.
New York Post, no matter how you feel about them, they are a real journalistic business.
Do you know what I found out yesterday? Do you know how long the New York Post has been around?
No.
Since the start of this country.
Yeah.
And you know who started it? Alexander Hamilton.
Really?
Alexander Hamilton started the New York Post.
I bet if he was singing around, they'd let him.
I guarantee they would. I don't know if that fits the narrative, but here's the guy who started it, and so this is an organization who is bent on trying to get it right, who's serious about doing their work, and they got banned as if they were some tabloid.
And this wasn't too little, too late. This was the second it came out. They put it out.
They put it out as soon as
it
came
out.
Like
the free speech. The New York Times for the last year said nothing. Now they're saying something. This was reported, and they reported it, and they said, no, sorry, man, we haven't pulled the wool over enough people's eyes yet. We got to silence you.
And listen, I was going to come in here with some sound bites that showed, like, you know how that montage where you can just hear what people were saying.
Yeah.
I wanted to come in here and let you listen to a montage about all the media that were basically saying the exact same words. You know how we do that? They use the same words every time to describe it? They were describing it as Russian disinformation.
Isn't it weird how that the guy you're talking about says there's no way all of them can work together and get the same story out? Even though they all say the same thing all the time?
Russian disinformation. Even the president said it. Even Psaki said it. Everyone kept saying Russian disinformation. It was incredible.
They were trying to link Russia to Trump. This is another thing what he was doing. They're trying to tie it all together. Most people aren't stupid and will not see that.
So consider this for a second. Trump, which is for 4 years, was getting hammered that he was a mole for Russia. For 4 years. They spent all these millions of dollars to try to take up all the oxygen out of his presidency over this whole Russia thing. We later find out that the person that was really tied to Russia was Clinton, right? But here it is going into the next election cycle with a new candidate.
Still on Trump.
Yeah. And now we find out again that the real candidate who's tied to Russia is the opposition, is a Democrat.
Listen, if you want to know what a Democrat is doing, watch what they're blaming the Republicans.
Exactly. So here's the thing. So there you go. They shut it down. Media shut it down, basically saying this is nonsense. I mean, these elitists, the way they were speaking about it, it just make me sick, make me want to throw up. But they were basically just like, there's nothing here to see, nothing here to see. Biden wins, right? About a month later, that's when more information started coming out. That's when they started allowing you to actually speak openly about the New York Post issue and the laptop. And like to your point, they said, if we would have known, they did a poll, I think it was a Rasmussen poll, if we would have known this information, 10% would have changed their vote.
Yeah.
We know that this race was so tight, was so razor tight that I don't even think he probably only needed 2% to win.
Yeah.
10% said they would have changed their vote. Okay. That's what I want to talk about. That part right there. Not the Hunter Biden, not any of that stuff. Anyway, so...
Wait, are you going to talk about voter suppression?
Well, no. I'm going to talk about free speech. Because
Well,
this
this
is the argument. Well, look,
This is real voter suppression. You know what I mean?
This is real
This
voter
isn't what they're
suppression.
saying, that requiring an ID
Exactly.
is racial voter oppression. This is withholding information that they know would change someone's mind for the sole purpose to suppress the vote,
So
to further the other side.
So just to put a button on just giving you the backdrop, a week
Yeah.
ago, New York Times ran a piece, and this goes back to your too little too late. They ran a piece, basically in that article, they confirmed that the laptop was real, that the information was real, and that there's investigations going on, okay, towards Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Just a week ago, they ran that. And so now the right is up in arms, basically saying, look, you see? Okay.
Yeah, but if they had a backbone, they'd force the issue a year ago instead of sitting now crying about it.
No.
They need to go and do something.
So here's the thing. I sent him...